What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So, something a lot of you may not know about me is that I'm a huge Magic Mountain fanboy, like huge. And because of that, I'm constantly asking people what the park was like when I was a kid, or even before my time. And if any of you know a bit of Six Flags history, you'll know that Magic Mountain now has 8 defunct roller coasters, those including rides such as the famous Colossus and the infamous Green Lantern. With that said, I find interest in all of them, but one stands out more than the others to me simply because it operated at 4 Six Flags parks, and my dad actually rode it many times as a kid. With a height of 90 feet and 1 inversion, this extremely rare coaster operated in the 1980s and closed after just 2 short years at the Magic Mountain Park, and get this, it was a stand-up coaster. So what is it, and where did it come from? This is the story of Six Flags Magic Mountain's Shockwave. Opening in 1986, Shockwave was the first Intamin stand-up coaster, making it a prototype that debuted as the world's fastest and longest of its kind. It had a height of 90 feet, a top speed of 55 miles per hour, and an 85-foot drop in which riders would experience 3.4 Gs. It also featured a rare 66-foot vertical loop and saw much popularity amongst teenagers and thrill seekers at the time. Here's no commercial for it, which I actually found pretty cool and entertaining.
Introducing Shockwave. If you think you can take it, stand up.
Unfortunately, the ride experienced a lot of downtime though, and being part of the ride rotation program, it was quickly dismantled and relocated in 1988. Cyclone, a wooden coaster from Din Corporation, would replace it and experience its own problems later on. Today, that plot of land is now filled by another wooden coaster, Apocalypse. But sticking with Shockwave, it ended up on the other side of the country in New Jersey at the Six Flags Great Adventure Park and would open 2 years later in 1990. Again, its operating life would be cut short though for another relocation, and by 1993 it was at Six Flags Astroworld in Houston, Texas. And this was its longest run, where it operated as Batman the Escape up until 2005. As you can see from this POV though, it did get pretty rough. However, it did maintain its popularity and even received a repaint in 2004. This was actually unfortunate though, because just 1 year later in 2005, Six Flags Astroworld in its entirety ended up closing for good, and all its rides were either sold, relocated, or scrapped. Shockwave just wouldn't seem to die though. The next year, we saw it at yet another Six Flags park, Six Flags Darien Lake in New York, where it went into storage and sat there for a few years. With enthusiasts awaiting its construction, the ride never did actually get erected, and after years of baking in the sun and rotting in the snow, it was presumed a goner. But in typical Six Flags fashion, the ride continued to sit in a lot, which raised speculation at a reopening. But as we know, this never happened, and it sat as recently as 2017 before it was noted to have been removed and finally scrapped. The coaster that was Shockwave is and was officially dead. Nowadays, the closest you can get to riding it would be the last remaining Intamin stand-up coaster, also known as Shockwave, at Drayton Manor in the UK, which has been operating since 1994. I'm sorry if I butchered that name, Drayton Manor, I don't know. But who knows how much longer that will be around, so you may as well go and ride it before it's gone. With that said, we have now reached the end of the video though, so as always, it's been a major pleasure creating new content for all of you guys, and I'd like to invite you to like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's content. Of course, stay tuned for yet another video coming in a couple days, that should be exciting, but otherwise, you can also feel free to catch up with us on Instagram as well for those daily posts. Until then, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you all there. See ya!